What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. As always, bring you incredible guests from all over the world, so sit back, relax, and tune in. My next guest is an entrepreneur. She's a digital marketing agency, a LinkedIn super ninja, a podcast host, and an author. Please welcome Lorraine Duncan. Lorraine, welcome to the show.
Thank you, and I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you here. So you're like a lot of my boss babes are like doing multiple things, but you're focused all around digital marketing. What did you always do that, or did it take you a little time to create Biz Gone Social?
No, not at all. I actually started out having a job in a hospital, working in the psych ward,
Oh my
and
gosh.
I decided I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom after my fourth child was born. So when I went back into the workforce, I discovered that I was either overqualified or underqualified. So I became like a certified business coach. And then I morphed into my digital marketing agency by growing my business coaching business.
That's awesome. And so why did you get into digital marketing?
I love to create things and I love to do graphics. I love content. I love serving people in the way that brings other people to their brand. And it just seems like it's kind of an interesting thing because I have mindset along with that, because most of the people that I work for, their product is great, but their mindset is off. So it's not the product that's not selling. It's just a little bit their mindset. So I get to do both, but I get to make money doing digital marketing, which is fun.
Yeah, I would think that it is fun. So you have a creative bug to you. You like to create.
A little, I wasn't the artist in school. I couldn't draw a straight line, but when it comes to graphics, I'm pretty decent at graphics.
Oh, that's very cool. I like to create things too, but I find that I can get a little like burned out if I am creating too much all the time. And so do you have a team of people, or are you creating everything for your clients?
Right now, actually, I do have a team. So I have somebody that works for me, but she actually is handling two of my clients and she's doing such a great job. So she's doing the graphics for them and she does all my editing. And I find that I needed to delegate the things that I wasn't passionate about. So I'm a people person and I'm an extrovert. So I love to talk to people. So it made sense that I do all the onboarding, the training, the education, and all that. Well, she does the scheduling of different posts for different clients of mine.
That's awesome. You're lucky you found someone you can rely on, and that you know that you can trust them with those tasks, because that's hard to do. As I know for myself as an entrepreneur, like used to be a huge micromanager, and it would be like if I didn't do it, like I would be worried it just wouldn't get done right.
Yeah, and that's hard. I actually hired a company to hire someone because I've made mistakes with that, and they hired to my Colbier.
Oh wow.
So it was like my weaknesses. They hired to my weaknesses. And it's interesting. I honestly got goosebumps when I hired her. So they did all the pre-screening, they did the interview. And then when I went to my interview, I asked her a very personal question, how did you take care of something that you messed up on? And the way she handled it was amazing because it just brought goosebumps. And that's the person I want having working for me, because I want the customer to come first. Always first. And they're if they need help or if we made a mistake, we have to fix it. It's there first. So and she can do that. And it's amazing.
That's awesome. So talk to us about this Biz Gone Social. I love it. I was on your website checking it out. When and how did you create the service offerings for your clients?
So I started off, like I said, I started off as a business coach. And then I realized real quickly that's what I was going to morph into. So then I got my first client. It was a company called Pistol Pack and Mama. You always want your first client. And they actually talked about objects that they could put concealed carries in, like a pocketbook, or they had like the bra one. I don't know if I would put a gun in my bra, but other than that, they had all these different kinds of services. And I had fun actually creating content for them and actually posting on social media. So that's how I kind of started. And then I just started networking in person. Yeah. And that got me more and more clients. And until I stopped seeing the deer in the headlight, I realized that finally I got my messaging down.
Yeah.
So it doesn't all come at once. As you know, as a business owner, you have clarity in some areas, but in other areas you're like, well, am I really hitting the mark here?
Yeah.
So, and when you land it, you know it, because you no longer see people looking at you like they have no idea what you're talking about.
It's interesting. I recently went to a women in business networking event at one of the local cities here around me, and we were talking a little bit about like marketing and being on social media. And the women were just like, "Oh, we'd love for you to come talk about." I mean, I'm not an expert in any sense, but I'm very passionate about utilizing social media to promote, the podcast, promote myself. It's a very powerful tool. And it was funny how many of the ladies were just like they're kind of lost when it comes to that. And so when I'm on your website, I look at your Do It For You packages. How important is it for your clients or anyone that anyone that's in business to utilize social media?
I think it's the number one thing that you should be on. And the reason being, and it's a part of the pie though.
Yeah.
When I say that, there's other things that are important too. I mean, you can't sit behind your computer and put up a website and think that you're going to grow your business that way. You have to get out there.
Yeah.
I do a lot of speaking, but I feel a lot of people don't realize that it's not just about one and done, but it's a continual education of what they do on social media and what they do for their business. So
Yes.
it's not buy. It's more of, let's educate you on what I do so that if you need me, I hit a pain point, I solve the problem, I'm going to actually hire you.
Yeah.
That's what you want. You want brand awareness. If anything, brand awareness is key.
Oh yeah, for sure. And using social media is a great way to get that brand awareness out there.
Absolutely.
Do you have clients that don't utilize social media at all until they work with you?
Yeah, and that's a little harder because you're starting from scratch, so if you have to sort of grow them and you start off really slow. And then I've had clients that have had a good community, and
Yeah.
we were able to even grow them even more. So you really can't really grow really big without doing some kind of advertising.
Yeah.
And people who don't want to do that, they're not going to really get that much visibility. I
Yeah.
think LinkedIn is the best place for that. You can get huge visibility by just using their newsletter.
Oh yeah. See, that's
Yeah.
I've never
Using your
used.
newsletter tool, and everybody you're connected with, it actually goes out to all of them, an invitation. And then what ends up happening is anybody who subscribes to your LinkedIn newsletter, they will get something in their inbox every week. And so each week when I put out my newsletter, I grow. And that's exciting because that's not the same people. People on LinkedIn are not the same people that are on my list, my email list.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of exciting I like watching that number grow more than my email list, even though today I had 62 opt-ins, which I was really kind of excited about.
That's very cool. Congratulations. Um, what would be some basic tips that you would give someone if they can't like afford you? So you've got different packages here. You got the ultimate plan, the custom social media package. What would be some tips if they're just starting out and they're trying to leverage social media, LinkedIn or Instagram, whatever it would look like, on how they should go about their strategy and using it?
Well, the biggest tip is, if you've never used social media, is just pick one platform for now and get really proficient in it, and be consistent. Show that you can be consistent. And if you're B2B, I think that the best platform for you to be on is really LinkedIn. If you have some consumer products, go on Facebook, do some Instagram. If you really have to be consistent on Instagram to be good at Instagram.
Oh yeah.
And so be you have to be involved. You can't just post something on Instagram and not chat and not talk and not, love a post and comment on post. And you really have to be involved. That's how you get other people to follow you. And that's how you get more people looking. And then Instagram and the algorithm sees that, and they start showing your posts more than others. So
Yes.
consistency is the big thing. Everybody has problems with that. And they
Yeah.
get, I'm going to start next week. I'm going to start next week. I'm going to start next week. And then you have 3 years later, when they said 3 years ago that they should have been on social media, and here we are. So it's like, just do it. you know, there's no really big mistakes you can make. You know, just stay away from religion and politics and you're fine. You know, and that's what I tell everybody, to stay away from, you know, if you're a business,
Yeah.
you can do anything you want on your personal stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as the business side, just try to remain very in the middle on everything and you're fine.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I know I used to be on my personal very passionate about. I even stepped away from that, passionate about some of the politics because of what, the pandemic and stuff. And I started cringing like, I don't think that's good for my like image. So I stopped doing that. I just think that those type of things are conversations that you should have with people that are close to you, not so the whole world can see. So I agree with you there. So you're also an author. Tell us about this book.
Yeah, so I started out by actually being in a chapter book where I just had a chapter and I just wanted to see if I could do that first. And then I moved and I wrote my book in 2018 called Shout It Out. And it just was, I needed something. I do a lot of speaking. So I needed something from the stage to be able to say, hey, besides signing up for this or getting a free email from me or tips and tools,
Yeah.
there's a book. I have a book. You can just download it. And if you're a Prime member, you get it for free. Actually, never did change the price on it. So it's really dirt cheap. So it's the bottom line is it was something to get started. Now I'm in the process of writing another book right now. Has nothing to do about my business at all. It's a personal book. It's a legacy book, I call it.
Congratulations. So what is Shout It Out about? So is it about your business?
Yes, it's a small business guide
Okay.
for people who need to learn more about social media. It talks a little bit about, how to do certain things. I give really real life stories and try to bring it into social media, like changing a flat tire is like this, or I used my, I've been married for 42 years now. And so I used my marriage as a way of talking about consistency, because the thing is people know me now. Before, nobody knew me, like who's Lorraine Duncan and who's Biz Gone Social. But now people know me because I've been consistent. I've been, especially on LinkedIn, I've been extremely consistent. So the bottom line is that I just wanted to make it easy for people to understand, to make it, oh yeah, just it's like riding a bike.
User friendly.
Yes. And I have to update it now. It changes. Social media changes very quickly.
Oh yeah.
So when I wrote it, like Instagram really wasn't even a big platform yet. So the bottom line is I just, I'm going to update it. And it seems to me that book is going to be one that it always has to be updated.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure, especially if you're in a state like in the now, with the new stuff. You call yourself a LinkedIn super ninja. What does that mean?
Yeah, I realized that that's actually my platform, only because I am B2B. I get most of my clients for LinkedIn. And so I know how to do a few things that other people don't. And as long as you know a little bit more than others, you can be a super ninja at whatever you want to be. But what I created a course called 13 Minutes a Day, because this is what I've been hearing over and over again. I just don't have time to do social media. I don't have time to be on LinkedIn. I don't have time to make connections. But I came up with some kind of plan that you can do it in 13 minutes a day. And so even my course on it, there's no video in there that's over 13 minutes. And it's 4 weeks, and you don't spend more than 30 minutes a week doing the course. And once you're done, you're just really proficient at doing one thing really good on LinkedIn that's 13 minutes. And then you don't have to spend any more time. I spend maybe 10 minutes a day on LinkedIn right now.
Yeah.
And I'm very proficient at it. And I've met so many people. I met you through LinkedIn, believe it or not.
Yes.
So I meet all these people that have helped me, not done business with me, but have been strategic partners I collaborated with. I just became friends. I referred work to some people that I thought were really good. So it's a really great place to network. And that's why I love LinkedIn. And that's why I'm the super ninja. I even have a little comic character that I created of me just to have little fun. I love superheroes. So
yeah, I mean,
that's something fun.
That's cool. I love that. What do you think of? So I actually had this conversation with somebody recently about all of the sales pitches that you get in your inbox these days.
I call that spam. And it's and this is what I think about it. I'm not going to say what I should say, but it's just not cool.
Yeah.
And the reason is because it's almost like going from a first night get acquainted date to kissing. Or
Mm.
maybe, and some people would even say, oh no, it's going to all the way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because the thing is why, and another thing is why does anybody think that I want to read 6 paragraphs in my, go to my LinkedIn and read anybody that does that to me. I don't connect with them, number one.
Yeah.
Or what they usually do is they connect with you first and then they send you the spam. That is just not cool.
Yeah.
So I like to just ask a little bit about their business. If I'm connecting with, because I'm an open networker, and what that means, I have some criteria of who I connect with, but I connect with anybody as long as they have a profile and they're active on LinkedIn. Because I have Premium and Sales Navigator, I can see who's active.
Yeah.
And if I get a message, like as soon as I connect with somebody with 6 paragraphs and they're selling me something, that is, I just won't, I actually I disconnect from them. And if they're asking me for a date, because that happens sometimes too, I actually report them to LinkedIn.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a little bit out of control. Back when I first joined LinkedIn to now, it is so different and it's so out of control. I'm just like, this is ridiculous. It kind of takes away from the validity of LinkedIn. That's how I feel, It's like, it's just another whatever. Anyways, well, let's talk about your podcast. What's the name of it? And what do you talk about?
It's the Biz Gone Social podcast.
Yeah.
So what I talk about, so I started out, like maybe there's about 10 episodes in the beginning, very bad episodes, with me talking, giving tips on social media, and I got bored. And also I got bored listening to me. And so I decided to bring a guest on, and I didn't want it to be about me at all. So what I did is I make it about the entrepreneur, the business owner. Had a bookkeeper on yesterday too. And so literally what I do is I make it about them, but we can get, my audience that's B2B can get like little nuggets that can help them move forward in their business, grow their business. And I learned from it too. I learned 18 amazing things yesterday that I implemented 6 this morning.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And that, seriously, there are so many brilliant people out there and so many creative people. You always have to be willing to learn.
Yeah, I would.
And that's what I've done with my podcast. It's gotten better. Is it perfect yet? But I'm slowly starting to make some money in my podcast now, which in the beginning I was using Spreaker's monetization and probably making a penny a week on it. So it was hysterical. We used to laugh. I go, oh, I made another penny.
Well, it sounds like you love what you're doing and you're connecting with some great people. So where can people find you, connect with you, and learn more if they want to work with you, purchase your book, or learn about the 13 minutes a day?
Yeah, so the best way to connect with me is, say you heard me on this podcast and is on LinkedIn, so go to LinkedIn, / Lorraine Duncan. Or you can just go to my website and there's some freebies on there that you can get, how to take the overwhelm out of social media. And if you want to contact me personally, it's Lorraine@bizgonesocial.com, and just say, hey, I heard you on the podcast. I'd like to have a call. And by the way, on my LinkedIn page, you can actually schedule a call with me. So I make it very easy.
Excellent. You guys will put those links in the show notes. So don't hesitate to connect with Lorraine if you loved what she's talking about. You need some help with your digital marketing, especially on LinkedIn. She's a super ninja, by the way. So go ahead and click those links and connect with her. Lorraine, this is the part of the show where I like to ask for last words of wisdom or advice. What would you like to leave with us today?
Yeah, so one of my quotes is, this is a Lorraine Duncanism. It's called, he or she who implements first wins. Because if you have an idea, or if you want to move forward on something and you don't implement it, it's never going to get done. And you're never going to know how it lands if you don't do it. So that's it. And I tell this to my kids. I tell this to everybody I talk to. Just, even when I'm teaching, just do it. It's kind of like the Nike slogan. Yeah. You got to implement. And you will win if you implement.
I love it. Well, Lorraine, thank you so much for being a guest today. Thank you for sharing all your nuggets of wisdom and what you do. I think it's very innovative on what you're offering your clients, and it's a necessary service in today's world. So thank you very much. We really appreciate you.
Great. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. As always, don't forget to subscribe, follow, rate, review, comment, share, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.